Shout out to LTTV.
Shout out to LTTV.
Salute to LTTV in the building, man.
Shout out to brother LTTV.
Shout out to LTTV.
Nobody's LT, and I'm certainly not implying that.
Shout out to LTTV.
Shout out to LTTV.
Salute to LTTV in the building, man.
Shout out to brother LTTV.
Shout out to LTTV.
Nobody's LT, and I'm certainly not implying that.
LT cooking your ass.
LTTV, whoever his channel name is called. I'm sorry for being the dusty. How about that?
If y'all want to keep up with the news and just shit be going on, subscribe to LTTV. That nigga know everything about everything. I ain't gonna lie.
Thanks for being with us here on Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Christina Evans. Once again, we do want to continue on with some of our top stories that we're following from this week. And the latest information we have in the Nolan Wells investigation. Putting this up on your screen, courtesy of our partners there at TMZ. We now have new information that the official autopsy in the death of Nolan Wells has been completed. This is according to officials familiar with the investigation.
Yeah, LTTV, Blunt Talk with LT, back at it with another video. All right, let's get right into this one. Okay, so what we have here is a headline saying Nolan Wells' autopsy has been officially completed. We also have a headline ran by various news outlets and folks in the media speaking about an arrest made in the Nolan Wells case, which this is all bullshit. This is all bullshit. Now, first of all, the autopsy has been completed, but have we heard anything? We have no results from the autopsy. The autopsy has not been made public to the family or anybody yet. They're going to get into some details here, but we don't know anything from this autopsy. And we're going to get into the arrest shortly, because the arrest has nothing to do with the Nolan Wells case. I don't know why they're relating it to the Nolan Wells case, because a lot of folks do not read the articles. They do not listen to the stories. They do not listen to the videos. They read the headline, and if they see an abundance of headlines, they're like, okay, case solved, moving on. So they see all this, oh, he got caught, oh, somebody got arrested. Let me pull up the actual story before we get into the autopsy, because the autopsy is 14 minutes filled with nothing. Filled with absolutely nothing. Let's get into the details about the arrest, because nobody has been arrested in relation to Nolan Wells. It's just, let's get to the details. Y'all will hear how ridiculous this is.
Reporting live from Ibis Club, Fight Plus News, I'm Janab. Breaking news coming out of Mississippi. The case of Nolan Wells is getting its latest update and first arrest. as a man by the name of Joseph Alfredo Vasquez
You
Dumar.
hear this? He's getting his first update and his first arrest. This has nothing to do with Nolan Wells. This has everything to do with threats made to the mother of.
Is now in custody after sending threats to Warren Hudson's stepmother and Judge Ashley
To
Cole.
Warren Hudson's stepmother, who was the judge in this case. Now, Warren Hudson, one of the attorneys that were speaking to Willie D, said that Warren Hudson would be the primary suspect in this case because he was the one that phoned it in, and there's other details relating to him that would put him as primary suspect. That's what a lawyer said on Willie D's platform. We might get into that later, but let's get into this video.
At the top of July.
Hold up, chat. Let's get these likes up. These likes are looking rather dusty. Y'all see the like button, and y'all are seriously like,
Don't fucking touch me!
and I'm like, that's not how shit works around here. Y'all got to get these likes up. Likes are free. Touch up that like button. Come on, chat. Come on, man. Y'all know better.
As you should know, Cole, whose stepson Warren Hudson is one of Nolan Wells' friends, whom he traveled by boat with to Mississippi's Horn Island before Wells would be found washed ashore 2 days later, would find herself under a large amount of ridicule after she would release a statement on her Facebook account. In her statement, she would mainly go on to defend her stepson against accusations that he may be behind Wells' passing.
So why is the judge choosing family instead of law in the legal system, and she's defending her? What part of the? Okay, let's get into this.
She would go on to write, "My husband and I were not at Horn Island at any point on 4th of July. No one in our family is trying in any way to impede with the investigation by law enforcement or to otherwise hamper the family and law enforcement's quest for answers. Warren was interviewed by the Jackson County Sheriff's Department and cooperated fully. He saw Nolan last around 3 p.m. on July 4th. They left around 4:30 p.m. when the boat was taking on water and they had an issue with the bilge pump. Nolan."
What kind of statement is this? What is this shit? You're just reiterating exactly what Warren said on the interview with the interview that sounded scripted, by the way, with Raccoon Tatum, Officer Tatum. Now, that interview seems super scripted and staged, and he was remembering certain points, and now she's repeating the exact same verbiage. The exact same, at 3 o'clock. Like, no, that was already disproven by the call. We heard the emergency call from the Sea Tow Company, in which we heard the "damn it Bart" statement and the "oh my God, Nolan is he," like all the frantic panicking we heard in the background. Do I have to pull up the audio? Did y'all see the last stream? Like, this is ridiculous. This lie has already been debunked by contradicting evidence.
Made a decision to stay
I don't know
on
why the judge is speaking out for, like, what part of the game is this? You're the judge.
Island and return inland later with another group of friends. Yes, I am a judge. I also value transparency. Yes, I am a judge. I also value transparency. I apologize if anyone was offended that I deleted my social media. There were no nefarious motivations in my deleting my social media. Social media has a lot of positives, but a whole lot of negatives.
The timing, ma'am. The timing. This is outrageous. This is his stepmother. So you are standing up for your stepson right now. You are caping for him as the judge. You are not being unbiased. You are being fully biased in protecting your family. What are we doing out here? You deleted your social media? This is nasty work, man.
Now, 3 days after the statement, Cole would return back to her Facebook to show followers and those interested that she and her family have received a wave of negative messages and threats. A part of the post, she would go on to share several messages from an anonymous user, YayYay962, who would go on to comment with things like, "There's gonna be a bomb sent to your office."
So bro made a fake profile to talk shit to this woman because clearly there's some bias in this case as the judge operating. You should not ever make fake profiles and levy threats because they will find your ass. It may seem anonymous with that fugazi ass profile, but come on, man, this is the feds we talking about. They on you.
"I'm gonna get you when you leave work." Followed by, "I got your email, your phone number, your address. What's stopping?" The user would even go on to message her directly and continued, "There will be a package coming to your guy's office in the next few days. It's gonna blow you away when you see it, LOL. Probably be best to have the boys there to see as well. Hard to clean, especially from a boat. Not even the FBI can stop this." Fast forward to today, it appears that the FBI would stop the user and would end up tracking.
Of course. Bro was fried. What do you mean not even the FBI could stop this? They heard that and they're like, please, bro, we're already at your door.
FBI, open up!
It's like, bro, you really thought? You really thought. Now, the problem with this is, you levy threats like this, you're coming for people's lives. Of course the police are going to come for you. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve this outcome. Of course he does. You shouldn't be doing this. This is ridiculous. You should learn better, sir. You're old as fuck. You should know this. Well, you're not old as fuck, but you're old enough. Now, the fact that this is a headline and folks are just reading the headlines, not taking in the story, talking about, oh yeah, we got an arrest in relation to Nolan Wells' case. No, you have not. You have arrested a motherfucker that was threatening the judge from an anonymous profile. This has nothing to do with the Nolan Wells case. With Nolan, come on, man. There's just not like, oh, we got a murder a suspect or something. Like, this is bullshit, bruh. And the fact that there's so many headlines running with this, and you know how folks are. When you see an abundance of headlines, folks are not even going to click in. They're not even going to read the story. They're just going to relay the message. And we have a lot of misinformation going on now.
Down Joseph Dumars in Sacramento, California. According to the Sun Herald, agents with the FBI Safe Streets Task Force identified Dumars, who used the username YayYay962, by tracing email IP addresses associated with the account, including moneybagiojo1916@gmail.com, along with the date of birth, phone number, and street addresses linked to the account. Investigators said the information resulted in the identity of Dumars as user behind the YayYay962 account that sent the messages.
Oh, bro's only 27.
Now, part of Dumars' indictment would read, on or about July 11, 2026, in Jackson County, in the Southern Division of the Southern District of Mississippi and elsewhere, the defendant Joseph Alfredo Vasquez Dumars did knowingly and willfully transmit in interstate and foreign commerce a communication containing a threat to injure the person of another, to wit, a direct message on Facebook threatening to kill Ashley Cole, all in violations of Title 18 United States Code, Section 875.
Yeah, bro, we know.
Lock his ass up!
All right, man, we skipping this part.
Now, court violations of Title 8 Dumars 3 years of supervision upon release. For the federal charge of interstate transmission connected to this case, we have to note that this arrest now takes place as many are demanding that an arrest actually be made directly connected to the suspicious death of Wells. Several days ago, following the release of the audio from the CTO emergency call that his friends would make that day, appeared to capture what some felt was incriminating. The audio itself is now being investigated by Wells' team and family.
And at this point, we are watching a whole community cover up what really happened to Nolan Wells. From the captain to the grandpa to the little boy, the dispatch lady, you know, you heard all that shit going on in the background. Yes, you was kind of concerned or whatever because you like something really going on because you heard what the people saying in the background. So that had you on high alert. So you was trying to figure out.
Yeah, man, this is a pathetic fucking cover up.
Let me get somebody out here. But at the same time, the man, how you get the granddaddy phone number, how you knew his number, and how he knew to call you personally, but you don't know if he's one of y'all clients or not. Y'all was trying to do that shit under the rug. The little boy panicked and called the real people who he needed to call. That's how he got the dispatch lady on the phone. Now you want to talk to the grandson under the covers. Lock all they ass up from.
Nah, man, that grandfather called because he wanted to limit the witnesses. That's what I personally believe, and that's what a lot of other people believe, because why would you cancel if the bilge pump was actually destroyed and you guys were knee deep in the water, which you guys couldn't give an accurate representation of how much water you would be in, but if you knew the bilge pump was destroyed, you would have been able to see how deep it was because it would be, the water would be accumulating. You would have been able, the whole call was some bullshit. Everything, the whole thing, just mirrored in complete fuckery and deflections so folks cannot see the truth. Shout out to Call Obsidian Plays with the $5 super chat. You say supporting the grind and the truth. Yeah, we trying to get to the truth, man, but it's all sorts of fuckery right now. Like, listen to this. We're gonna get right back into this video, but listen to the autopsy. We got the autopsy completed, but look at the pathetic, I don't even want to say details, lack of details that we got.
Results from the state medical examiner's office have not yet been made public at this time, but are expected to be sent to a grand jury. It was back on July 23rd that the office of the district attorney.
So nobody's going to know about this, but it's going to be sent to the grand jury.
the autopsy report of Nolan Wells' death will be withheld until a grand jury can review it. And so to talk a little bit more about what...
So the autopsy's being withheld so the grand jury can review it? Not even the family's knowing. Like, fuck the public. Not even the family gets to understand or know the results. They're holding it from the family. What the hell is going on?
We're watching here in this case, as it has now made national headlines. I'd like to bring into the conversation now legal analyst Jeremy Rosenthal. Jeremy, thanks so much for being with us here on Live Now from Fox.
Thanks for having me, Christina.
Absolutely. And so I'm glad you took the time to speak to us, as we're still getting updates pretty much daily here on this Nolan Wells investigation. But this newest information that the official autopsy has been completed. Again, those findings not yet public, but how critical is this piece of information and that documentation that is now going to be presented to a grand jury?
Critical. If anytime you want to prosecute somebody for a crime, especially homicide, you start with the cause of death, because homicide or any type of murder charge is going to be that one person caused the death of another person. So the first thing that you have to establish is that the death was...
Wow. Bro is spitting. Like, my nigga, you said a whole bunch of nothing. Get to it.
Was caused. If a death is accidental, that doesn't mean that there's no criminal responsibility. It could be manslaughter or criminally negligent homicide, but you have to start with what went wrong and what happened. And unless or until we know the answers to that, we're really sort of multiplying zeros, if you will. So much of the complications in this case are that it is a blank canvas. We have so many more questions than we do have answers here. And so there's a tendency for people to sort of fill in the gaps with their own sort of pre-existing worldviews, opinions, and things like that. So we start once we get the autopsy, at a minimum, I don't know that we'll establish anything, but hopefully we can eliminate at least.
Get dude off the screen.
Oh, God.
Get dude off the screen, man. Who the fuck is that, bitch?
Bro came on here to say a whole bunch of nothing. This sentence could have been wrapped up with I know nothing. Next. We got the autopsy. We got nothing to tell you. Next. What is this segment? This segment is a whole bunch of bullshit, and this is what we're seeing. A whole bunch of bullshit, a whole bunch of deflections, a whole bunch of confusing motherfuckers when we're trying to follow the case.
Certain causes of death, and then maybe start to sort of move this forward, whether it turns into a criminal investigation, whether not. Hopefully, at least it provides some answers for everybody, especially the family.
Absolutely. And so I want
Okay, so whether it turns into a criminal investigation. So you got the autopsy results. The first one was it was inconclusive. They didn't understand. The second one, now you got it complete. Although they said the first one, they took some organs out of the back of the school. Regardless, we're gonna get past that. You say the autopsy is complete. The public is not notified of the results. Not even the family is notified of the results. But the autopsy is completed. They sent it to a grand jury. But you still want to know if there's some sort of criminal investigation going on, but they sent it to a motherfucking grand jury. Oh! My nigga, they didn't give the family the results yet. Of course there's some sort of investigation going on. What are we doing out here? Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson with the 500 Kenyan shilling.
I'm getting rich.
You said they need to stop hating on LTTV. I just want it to be random. I'm like, what hate? What is O'Shea talking about?
to talk about the family here because they've been very outspoken, not only on social media, but holding several press conferences as well throughout the last few weeks since the death of Nolan earlier this month. But one of the critical pieces of information that we've gotten from the family is that they've conducted their own independent autopsy and are starting to look into this and his death on their own. How critical is it that we're able to compare?
Now, the own independent autopsy was rendered inconclusive, but y'all say y'all completed this autopsy. and they ran their own independent autopsy. Y'all completed this autopsy but didn't share the results with the family. That's why I said fuck the public. We don't need to know, but the family doesn't know and it's getting sent to a grand jury. What the hell is going on here?
Results of what the official autopsy is compared to the one that the state is going to eventually release.
It never hurts to have more eyes on these things, and we should hopefully get some more answers out of it. Not only that, you know, what we want to make sure of is that any investigation is really not slanted, but we also have an adversarial system of justice. So if an investigation does try to prove something, I mean, that's the scientific method, isn't it? You make a hypothesis. We also have an adversarial system of justice, so the fact is really not slanted, but what we want to make sure of is that any investigation is really not slanted, but
so that's why it's sent to the grand jury. You want to make sure that any investigation is not slanted. So what would that suggest? What would that suggest? So the investigation so far would have been slanted in some sort of way? There's some sort of bias, in particular with the judge who issued a statement defending Warren, reiterating the same argument or the same statement that Warren made without actually being there, being a judge, jumping to the defense without any formal investigation, and then deleting her social media. Is that why you feel like there may be some slant going on to this?
we also have an adversarial system of justice. So if an investigation does try to prove something, I mean, that's the scientific method, isn't it? You make a hypothesis and then you try to support that hypothesis. So more information is certainly our friend. You're never going to have the resources that the government has, even though there's some big names that are sort of getting involved here to help the Wells family. But again, the more the merrier. Information, I think, is everybody's ally here. And like I said, the more information that we can sort of put in this case and paint in, the more information that we have, the more that sort of defangs or declaws a lot of the conspiracies that I think that we hear, and frankly that we're going to keep hearing in this situation.
And speaking of some of those conspiracies, of course, if you've been online at all, if you're on X, if you're on Instagram, seems like all social media platforms have really been inundated with information as it's coming out, some of that accurate, some of it not. And so when it comes to talking about criminal charges, of course, the court of public opinion seemingly has charged several people in connection to the death of Nolan Wells. But what is the real legal standard for wanting to get that information across the bar in order to bring criminal charges from the state's perspective?
I mean, you're going to have to figure out who broke the law. The way that any type of criminal case works is the government is charged with proving elements of a case. They've got to prove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and those are provided by the penal code, either state or federal. So the law is listed out that...
Once again, no shit, Sherlock. What is wrong with this guy? The redundant statements, like, are you teaching a bunch of fourth graders, bro? Like, you're not saying anything.
Again, I mean, if you take a speeding case, you have to prove that somebody, a specific person, was in a car and that they were going in
and they were speeding. Oh my God, this get this guy the fuck out of here. Where is my drop? Yo, we got to get dude off the screen.
Get dude off the screen.
Oh God.
Get dude off the screen, man. Who the fuck is that, bitch?
Man, get this dude the fuck out of here. Bro is literally saying nothing. Let's go back to this next video. This is awful.
The granddad of the kids, them hoes that was on that damn boat, because they had girls on the boat too. We ain't know that. Lock all ass, the whole damn community. Lock them up. And why y'all just not saying something? Come on now.
If the theory is that we don't care about what happened to Nolan because he was drinking or on cocaine, then what needs to happen is every adult on that island that was there, including the ones who are driving the boats and tugging and this, that, and the third and all this other stuff, needs to be arrested for the contributing of the delinquency of a minor. And I'm sure that there were kids who were under the age of 18 who were on that island who probably was also participating. So since we're gonna make it seem like Nolan is the only one doing illegal activities, since the headlines want to come out, arrest every fucking body who was on the island doing the fucking drugs.
Now, as reported here, one of his friends accused.
What the hell was that?
Well, this is what I'm talking about. All this bullshit in the media trying to start confusion. He's reacting to the bullshit in the media, and it completely left. Drugs and all this shit, bro. What happened to Nolan Wells? We already know that there are a bunch of underage drinking going on there. The drugs and whatnot, we wouldn't know until we get some sort of autopsy completed, because the autopsy was completed, but we didn't get the information shared to the public yet, or to the family. But we're looking for foul play, potential criminal activity, cover up for a murder. That's what we're looking at. And this whole arrest everybody on the island for drugs, what are we doing here, bro? We lost the plot. Let's get back to the plot, bro. All these deflections in the media.
Bart Edmiston, whose name can be heard yelled on the emergency calls audio, has now hired his own attorney to push back against any claims that he's behind Wells' death. During a new episode of News Nation,
which is ridiculous. His attorney has already sued a lady. We're gonna get into that. I think Neek at Night covered that. We're gonna get into that. So his attorney's already suing folks for trying to say misinformation or blah blah blah. But I'm like, you're gonna have to prove that. If you're gonna say it's defamation or misinformation, you're gonna have to prove that, motherfucker. So
Edmiston's attorney Russell Latino would dispute versions of the audio that would go viral and claim that what people were hearing was doctored along with an inaccurate transcript.
An alleged enhanced audio of the CTO call that purports to have a background conversation that is suggested sounds like people explaining the murder of Nolan. The word Bart is in there, and I know real people with real platforms are pointing the finger at your client.
Well, we hear wake the fuck up. We hear Nolan. We hear no. We hear a bunch of frantic panicking. And then we hear, damn it, Bart. So when we hear that damn it, Bart, everyone's like, yo, but bro, what the fuck is going on? Damn it, what? What did you do?
Yeah, so we don't see any legitimacy in a doctored transcript or a doctored audio that comes with a transcript, which is a nice psychological sort of game that people play with garbled audio. So yeah, people are just fabricating things wildly. And the consequence of that is that you've got people who are in legitimate fear for their lives. Our viewpoint is not, we can't stop the entire internet. My client.
Now, mind you, the audio has been independently edited by various different sources. What they did was remove music and lift the audio gain of everything in the background. And then there's the unedited version where we can hear the same elements in the video, but just with less audio gain on the background elements. Bro is saying it's doctored, it's edited. It's like, yeah, there's certain things because they edit the background noise so we can hear what is said more, but it's not manipulated with AI or having folks say something that they haven't said. He's being disingenuous as fuck.
Client's role was to help drain water off of a boat that reported it being in distress. There were 20 plus people separated between those two boats. All of them saw what he did. All of them saw what did and didn't happen. There were two credible witnesses at least that saw Nolan Wells on Horn Island an hour and a half after those two boats left.
Now, as far as Warren Hudson and his family.
And who are the credible witnesses he's speaking about? Is he speaking about Warren? Is he speaking about the mixed friend who had the interview with Raccoon Tatum, later to find out he wasn't even there? He wasn't on the boat that got Nolan in, or on the boat that he was supposed to be on to come back. Bro just wanted the clout. We have an article about that as well. It's getting nasty out here, bro. It's getting nasty.
His father, who is the husband of Ashley Cole, would announce that he is now putting up a $50,000 reward for any information that leads to an arrest and conviction of anyone that could be responsible with the death of Nolan Wells. It was announced on Thursday that state officials in Mississippi have also finally completed Wells' first autopsy, conducted on July 7th, but it will remain private in preparation for the district attorney to present evidence to a grand jury. Wells' family and family attorney Benjamin Crump has also yet to see those results. Let's talk about it more in the comments below. How do you feel about this recent arrest and the
I do not like the fact that the family has not been notified about the results of the autopsy. That, for me, that is more foul disgusting work from what we've seen, how this case has been handled. Why is the autopsy results being hidden from the family? Why is it being discussed with the grand jury? This is very bizarre. And then they're reporting it as if we have some sort of justice. Arrest made in the Nolan Wells case. This motherfucker. What did he do to Nolan Wells? Nothing, nigga. It's like, so why is that the headline? Arrest in Nolan Wells case. No, this guy has been threatening a judge. So yeah, this is some bullshit. Various headlines running the story too. You got to make sure that you actually click into the videos when you read the headlines, because the headlines just get y'all in the videos, because there's a whole bunch of misinformation right now on YouTube. And it's not just small media. It's not just struggle streamers trying to run up a bag on these views. It is mainstream media. It's live on Fox. It is CNN.
Excessive rate of speed. Murder, homicide, things like this are no different. You have to be able to hit all of those points. And when you just have a mystery, a lot of times theories and opinions just aren't evidence. Now, if there's anything here that's...
Now, theories and opinions are not evidence. They are theories and opinions, sir. You are, once again, stating the obvious. Evidence is evidence. So we are going to do what we did a minute ago. I do not know why I put dude back on the screen, but...
Get dude off the screen.
Oh, God.
Get dude off the screen, man. Who the fuck is that? This motherfucker.
Breaking news and get in.
I'm the...
I titled it the same way for engagement. I put arrest made but ... and then I put fake. What did I put? Let me put the title. Oh shit. Okay, so we made an edit. What was the original title? It said fake what? God damn it, LT. What the fuck? Yeah, there we go. Fake justice, my nigga. Fake justice.
Weirdo.
I don't know what you're trying, but as we can see, it's shared in the Discord. This is the thumbnail. Nolan Wells autopsy complete. Arrest made, but ... Fake justice. Why? Why? Because it's bullshit. It's fake justice. Oh, we got arrests. We got autopsies. We got no details. We got an arrest that's not related to the Nolan Wells case.
Oh!
Fake news, nigga. Fake news. And then you had the audacity. The first thing I did was explain it. These motherfuckers is running like they actually have something.
And Benjamin Crump, who is joining us in their journey along the way with the family, with Christine and with Elmore Wansley, Nolan Wells' parents. Ben, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Let's talk about the break. Hello to the family and to you, and thank you for being here. Let's talk about the breaking news. The autopsy from Mississippi is in. And so what does that mean? When do you find out? Have you heard anything from them?
Now, see, you're coming at me, but this is some bullshit. When it comes on the phone as alert, it's not saying all that. It's because YouTube has a 65 character limit when it comes to like short form on your phone or whatever the title is. When you click into the extended title, you can see the extended title. So you are blaming me for lazy work. It's not my fault. That is not my fault. When it first aired, you seen fake justice. You seen fake justice in that title.
That the autopsy was complete, and because media started calling us, and I know the district attorney's office have reached out to the family, but we did not get a chance to talk to them before the news told us the autopsy was complete. We are scheduled to have a meeting with the district attorney's office next week. Whether that means they're going to reveal the autopsy results is unknown to us, but we're certainly going to inquire because, you know, we have been begging for transparency the whole way and we've tried to be very transparent with them, and we hope that they will be transparent with us, especially his family.
Yeah. So Ben, can they not release information to you? Because I know that, explain the process, because it goes to a grand jury. Now, do you know if they're going to be transparent with you, or you don't, and how much you think they can or will reveal?
Well, I think they can. They can do what they want. You know, we do cases all across America. And
but what is the runaround? What is with this runaround? Why are they not giving you the results to the autopsy? How could the family properly grieve with this and properly understand what is going on with the case if they don't have the results to the autopsy? Because it's complete now. Well, why are y'all hiding it? Oh, because there may be an ongoing criminal investigation. But the way they're framing it, they're saying they don't know if there's going to be a criminal investigation, but you're sending it to the district attorney. So and the grand jury. This makes no sense, man.
The district attorney and the governmental authorities have the authority to release information as they so deem to release it. Don Lemon, you know, they could be transparent, or they can say, well, we're not going to release anything until the grand jury. And then that means we don't know when we're going to see it, because nobody knows when they're going to conclude their report. And in George Floyd and Breonna Taylor cases like that, where you had governmental authorities trying to be transparent, they would release information to try to build public trust. What are they going to do in Mississippi? We do not know if they're going to release it. They may say, we're not going to release anything at all until the grand jury, and the grand jury might convene. You just never know.
You said the grand jury might convene. You cut out for a second, Ben.
They can convene anytime the district attorney's office says that we've completed our investigation. It's all up to them. It could be next week. It could be 2 or 3 months. We have no control over when the grand jury is convened and when the district attorney decides to release information.
Mind you, this is only pertaining to the results of the autopsy. They're talking about investigation and doing. This is the results of the autopsy. The results were completed, or the autopsy was completed. Why are we withholding the results from the family? Is the family members being investigated at this point? Like, I don't understand this.
Why did it take Mississippi so long to present these results? And do you know why they've been so quiet?
I don't want to speculate. I know oftentimes they would offer that they're waiting for a toxicology report. So why it took as long as it did, but we hope that they will be transparent with us, because as Dr. Mitchell, who conducted the independent autopsy at the behest of the family, Don Lemon, articulated, he shared that he would not be able to tell if the airways were obstructed, if the lungs were filled with water, because by the time he got Nolan's body, the organs had already been dissected. And so he would have to depend on the observations of the state medical examiner, who would have gotten Nolan's body immediately once they recovered it.
I want to ask you, so that's the only way that you're going to know if the independent autopsy and the state autopsy, if they indeed match up with each other. So 2 questions. That's the only way you're going to know. So one would think that they'd have to be transparent, or at least they'd want to, so that you can combine the two, because they'd want to get to the bottom of it. If there's some discrepancy with one or the other, that can be really,
Well, there's going to be some sort of discrepancy, because the independent autopsy removed organs and was ultimately inconclusive. So you remove organs and you're inconclusive. The second autopsy was conclusive. They just haven't shared the results. So I'm just, once again, perplexed.
Beneficial to finding out what happened to Nolan. And so what happens if the results in Mississippi don't align with the evidence shown so far? That's that's a big deal.
Yeah, and oftentimes, Don, you do find that you have differences in autopsies. I know I've handled several cases where the state medical examiner concludes one thing and an independent medical examiner concludes another. And then you have to put it before a grand jury and they decide. Or even more profound, the matter then goes to an actual jury trial in whether it's criminal proceeding or not, or civil proceeding. And so it really is about what you said, trying to be transparent with one another and seeing if we can figure out why you get these conclusions. And remember this, Don, autopsy is not the end all. It's still other factors that are important as well. Remember, Dr. Roger Mitchell said, even if the conclusion is he died from a drowning, then the questions become, what was the condition of his body before he entered the water? Was he conscious or was he unconscious? Was he forced into the water or was he not forced into the water? So all of these become very important variables as you look at it. And I'm saying this, and I'm here with Christine and Elmore as we go to Cincinnati, Ohio, to speak to a lot of young people, high school students and so forth at the Omega Conclave Convention. I'm sensitive. We're talking about autopsy, and I know this gets a little emotional.
Well, that's why I want to ask Miss Christine, who's there, and Mr. Elmore there as well. Miss Christine, thank you so much.
I'm going to hand the phone to Christine.
Okay. I know that it's difficult for you to listen to this, and I was keenly aware that you're in the background and you're having to deal with this. I wrote something this morning in my newsletter, and I said that, you have been wanting transparency around this. First of all, good morning. Thank you for joining us. But you have been wanting transparency around this. But hearing the actual words and the results or whatever, that is extremely difficult. You want transparency, but then to be able to hear it is heart-wrenching. It's really a double-edged sword.
It is. And honestly, it's one of those things when we're sitting in it, because we have not been able to fully grieve, right? So there's a bit of disassociation that occurs. And I too have to just always take a moment to step back and be like, okay, however it goes, right? Like it has to in some way, like it has to be accepted. But again, I can't fully accept the answers and things that were told to us at the beginning because it was too soon. There was no investigation. Stories did not align. And so for people to say, hey, why can't you just accept it as a drowning and be done? And
I feel like those folks that are saying that are very disrespectful, very insensitive. These folks have just lost their child. Just get over it and X, Y, and Z without understanding the details of what happened with a bunch of bullshit stories that don't align. Of course, you're going to be patiently awaiting the truth and in pursuit of it, not just giving up and not just being like, yeah, well, it's okay. He's like, no, you want some answers. You want some actual justice. You want some details. It's ridiculous to suggest that you would want anything other than that.
those things that have occurred. But, that's why we needed that independent autopsy. We needed to make sure that whatever was found was true. But of course, when you don't have the complete picture, that also, kind of makes you question even more, like, what exactly are we dealing with? And we need that. Like, my husband and I, our family, we need those questions answered.
When you got the news that the autopsy, for the state autopsy was done, what went through what was that like for you? What did you think?
I said, oh, wow. But then again, like Attorney Crump said, the DA did reach out. Actually, I had texted the victim's advocate, Amanda, saying, hey, were there any updates for the autopsy? I know the coroner told us it takes about 2 to 3 weeks for the toxicology report to come back, which I know that was kind of the main thing they were stressing. And so then I think that afternoon, so today is what? So I think that was maybe a day or two ago, the DA had called and I missed the call. And by the time I saw it, it was too late and I wasn't going to call her at 9 o'clock because I've had to change the settings on my phones because of the harassing phone calls I've been getting.
Yeah, the harassing phone calls and the death threats to Nolan's family. Nolan Wells' mother and father are getting all sorts of death threats and harassment, but nobody's been arrested in relation to that. They jumped and pounced on that person that was harassing the judge instantly, and now he's facing all sorts of persecution. But hey, you harass the victim's parents and nothing happens to you.
I want to talk to you about all of that, but just one more thing before we go into that. I just spoke with Ben about transparency. What are you hoping from Mississippi, whoever's releasing this information, whether it be the medical examiner's office, the state, or the DA? What would you like from them? You want to hear everything, I'm sure.
I would like for everyone to just do their job. I would like for everyone to treat this as if this was their child or their family member and give us the same honesty, transparency, and respect that they would expect for them or their family.
Amen. Now, can we talk about the other stuff? You went there, so I feel like I can go there because I've been bothered by it. We've been reporting on it. It's disgusting. I'm going to start with one thing, and then I'll talk about the harassment of you, and especially as a mother and then as a medical professional, and I know you take your profession very seriously when you said, I love everybody. Black, white, red, green, it does not matter. So do not get that wrong. And you've always had really good reviews. But I want to talk about this blaming the victim and smearing the victim. The reports that we've been hearing. No, Nolan was drinking. He was doing this. He was doing that. Why? I guess we know why they're doing it, but I want to know what your assessment is, how you feel about that, because let's just say that he was. I'm not saying that he was. Let's just saying that whatever he was doing, that doesn't mean that you have to die. And that doesn't mean he was the only one.
Exactly.
And what do you think young people do? On my senior trip, I was, out there, right? So I'm just saying, kids have fun. So why?
Listen, they were all drinking. They're all underage. They were all drinking. I've been drinking since I was like 14, my nigga. What are we talking about? It is what it is.
What does that have to do with anything? That's what I don't understand. What's your assessment on this?
Honestly, I feel like that is a way, which we've seen this before, right? Pattern recognition. We've seen this where things have happened, especially when we talk about the Black community. And, after the death, it's a smear campaign. It's, what can we find out about this person? What can we say? And, that's something, my family and I, especially my husband and I, we definitely do not appreciate. But
yep. The same thing with George Floyd. Oh, yeah, George Floyd was a drug addict. He was on fentanyl. He was X, Y, and Z. He was trying to cash fake $20 bills. And I'm like, what does that have to do with the officer's knee on his neck? But this is what they do.
We can't fight everyone that wants to have an opinion. But also, too, it's part of society that has been allowed to occur, which is it's gut-wrenching at best. Because if you were in our situation, how would you feel if there were millions of people who are saying, oh, hey, well, he was at an island, he was heavily drunk. And again, even with the drinking, there are so many conflicting stories, only because I have spoken with adults who knew Nolan very well, coaches that were out there. One in particular, I think he told me he saw Nolan somewhere between like 2:45 and 3:30. He was like, Christine, yeah, we talked for a while. We talked about college. We talked about his life, his plans. And he was like, he was perfectly fine. Because I think it had bothered him too, that there was this narrative of, oh, he was sloppy drunk. Like and it started at the very beginning. It was, oh, he was sloppy drunk. And I'm like, but was he though? Or is this a narrative that you guys want to use to kind of have us just accept that it was a drowning?
Are you prepared for whatever it is? I know that's tough, and you know that's a yes and no question.
Honestly, it's hard to be prepared in any way with the way we have been thrusted onto the national stage and just kind of everything. And it's going to take a long time. So even, God willing, when we do get honest, transparent answers, right? Even when we get those answers, it's still going to take a moment, not even a moment. It's still going to take a while for us to digest and really accept that, because
the thing is, the autopsy is just the first part. The autopsy is not the end all be all. Yes, it will indicate how he was killed or how he died. If he wasn't killed, it will just show how he died. But that's one of the details. We still need to know what actually happened.
And this is just me now speaking from a medical standpoint. We're kind of stuck.
Yeah, just like Benjamin Crump said, it's like if he's dead, if he died by if it was like a drowning, how did he drown? Was he forced in there? Was he unconscious before he fell in the water? There's so many different questions that go into it.
In one of the stages of grief, because we don't have answers. And that's the thing people don't understand. Everyone grieves differently.
Yep.
You hit those stages of grief at different times, and sometimes you feel like they might go on at the same time. But right now we're kind of just stuck, and we can't move forward because we don't have answers.
So when you talk about all the things that have been spread, there is this officer, I hate mentioning his name, a former officer who is a far right wing, who's been doing the interviews and has been saying, go ahead.
They're talking about Raccoon Tatum. That's who they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not even going to comment on Brandon Tatum. No.
I respect that. And that's the right answer for everybody, I believe. And I feel like, because I mentioned him, I'm like, why did I even mention him? Because he doesn't deserve a platform.
No, he does not.
So
Raccoon Tatum is out here clout chasing, kissing Master's ass, going, how much you gonna give me, Master? Just caping like a complete thing. It's just pathetic what we're seeing out here. By the way, chat, if y'all do not have YouTube Premium, y'all are about to get assaulted by these commercials.
Talk about the people, the young men that he's been interviewing, they're saying they're his best friends. Some of them you said that you don't know. One of them even said, oh, Nolan would be outraged by the way his parents are handling this. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, why on earth would somebody go on and say that about a grieving family? But
again, distraction. We're not even going to address them or that man.
Yes, don't. It's a waste of time. It's a back and forth. That's what he wants. He wants these moments so he can say some belligerent shit about the black community. Now, O'Shea was right. It wasn't just some random stuff. He is right. Look at the likes compared to the viewership. Chat, can we get these likes up? Y'all are the reason why we getting shadow banned out here. We're not being shown to more people. We got to get these likes up. Who are the weirdos in the chat?
Weirdo.
Well, not
we
in the
only
chat.
Want the truth.
Hold up. Not in the chat. I'm not shitting on the folks in the chat. I'm talking about the folks that are watching. Y'all ghost motherfucking watchers. Not hitting the like button. Not stimulating the chat with conversation. Come on, man.
Again, at the end of the day, I'm gonna say it like I've been saying it. The only question we have is what happened to Nolan. That's what we need to know. That's it. That's all.
Yep.
Dad.
That's facts.
Dad, you've been here. We saw you yesterday with not only speaking up for your son, but for others as well who have been involved in mysterious deaths. That was a very emotional moment for you, and the vulnerability I saw there. What do you want to say to folks who are, your wife is getting, threats, she's being harassed, those families have been treated like they're a nuisance by police departments, according to the reporting. What do you want to say to America about this?
Like my wife said, just from a parent standpoint, We just want to know what happened. We want a fair. And
you can definitely tell everybody grieves differently. He looks very hurt and frustrated with this process.
Thorough investigation, just like the other families, because we hurt just like them. If this was their children, they would want to know. They would want to go to every resource they can get.
And we know that because the judge, who's supposed to be unbiased, a judge, went to social media to defend Warren, her stepson, and then she deleted her social media. A judge.
The ends of the world to find out what happened. So then that's all we're doing. We're not accusing anyone. We just want to know what happened to our son because it doesn't add up. Times don't add up, stories don't add up, and it just doesn't. So we just want a fair and thorough investigation so we can grieve properly because we can't, because there are so many answers, but so many questions that are not answered.
I don't know if you want to respond to this, or Ben or Christine. The father of one of the young men who's been speaking out has put up a $50,000 reward reportedly. What do you think of that, Ben or Elmore or Christine?
Yeah, we are happy with anybody who wants to share the objective to get into the truth of what happened to Nolan Wells. So we applaud it and we say, yeah, let's all work together to get answers because we, as we've said continuously, Don Lemon, adamantly, somebody saw something, somebody knows something. I mean, and that's what you want, are answers.
Mm-hmm. Ben, yes, we all do want answers in this. Can you talk to us about that press conference yesterday? Because it's not just, and all of them 18 years old, these young people, right? There was a very emotional press conference with the family and the grandmother. You chose to highlight that at the Urban League. Tell us why.
You know, I am so thankful that Christine and Elmore, Nolan's parents, were open to being able to use the attention that they have been blessed with in the loss of their son to try to help other 18-year-old black boys who were lost in similar manner as Nolan. Don Lemon, you and I have been doing this for years where you use your platforms to give, you know, a voice to those who don't have a voice. And when you saw that press conference yesterday, you saw two families completely devastated where you had that 18-year-old black boys, three families, all in search of the truth, coming together about what really happened to their children. You had Daniel Irvin, who, like Nolan, they're saying it was an accidental drowning, even though his mother said he was on the swim team. And the fact that he was, you know, on a fishing trip or something with two other white teenagers, he allegedly accidentally drowns, and then they throw away his cell phone, they throw away his clothes, and they delete all their text messages with him. And his mother, Tamika, is out of her mind trying to say, where's my baby?
I don't know how nobody finds that suspicious. The way Warren tried to explain it in his dumbass video, talking about nobody has the phones, but yet everybody had their phones, which you were calling out to everybody who had their phones, and you're like, okay, where's Nolan? You're calling X, Y, and Z. All of them are picking up their phones, but they have their phones, but Nolan's the only one that doesn't have his phone. And then y'all have his phones with deleted messages. Y'all delete
You don't find
messages.
that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
You're deleting stuff out of his phone. How is that not a massive red flag? How is that audio when they're all panicking, screaming, Nolan, Nolan, wake up, damn it, Bart? How is that not a smoking gun along with the deleted messages and the fact that they had possession of his phone? This whole thing stinks. This whole thing stinks, and it needs investigation. And the fact that the autopsy has been completed but not received by the parents, this is insane.
And after 4 days and all-out search where the activist community and everybody are getting involved, then one of the young men and his parents come forward and say, well, he accidentally drowned and we were scared, so we got rid of evidence and, you know,
tampering with the evidence?
We are sorry. And so they're charged with tampering with evidence that they lied about. And his mother, Tamika, is saying, if you lied about his cell phone, you lied about throwing away his clothes, you lied about deleting text messages, then how can we believe you when you say he accidentally drowned when my son was a swimmer? And the fact that the Dallas Police Department took 3 months, even after they confessed to doing all of this, Don Lemon, before they did anything. And she adamantly believes that it was because of Nolan Wells that they finally arrested them for tampering with evidence. She didn't think they were going to do anything. And this was just this black mother by herself just fighting down. Nobody gave them any attention in the media and stuff. And so that's what this is about, trying to make sure people know our children's lives matter too. And then, Don, Tyler Smith in Lexington, Kentucky. I mean, on 4th of July, this is the same day that Nolan goes missing. Her son, Lindsay Smith's son, Tyler, is at the house celebrating 4th of July, and he's the only black person there. And he somehow ends up shot in the head, dead. 911 is called, the police come, and then they say they were...
Shout out to A-Lady747 with the $5 super chat. A-Lady747 says, not one or almost none black girl or woman in any friend group pictures in that town among those black men. Y'all will never learn. That y'all does not apply to me in the slightest. I ain't that. I'm gonna be at Caravana tomorrow with all of my people. It's gonna be all the black people. Of course, they have others there too. But we gonna be with our people, man. We gonna be with our people. I'm not I don't know what part of the game this is. Those folks down there, this is what happens. This is exactly what happens. This is what happens when you want to be a token. Or forced to be a token, because, you know, sometimes it's the population. You don't really choose the population around you or the demographic around you. You're just stuck with the area that you live in, which is unfortunate for those folks. But yeah, man, you don't want to be those folks. You don't want to be the token. You do not want to be the only or one of the few.
Playing Russian roulette, that it was an accidental shooting, that he shot himself. And the police didn't on his hands or anybody's hands. They just take their word for it.
You said no gunshot residue test because you cut out, the police didn't do a gunshot residue test, right? And then when she said, when they told her grandmother and they asked, you know, how do you know it was an accidental or whatever? And she said, because they said so, the people with him. That's not an investigation.
That's not an investigation.
That's not an investigation, but thank God for that courageous black grandmother who refused to say, no, I'm not going to just let y'all sweep my grandson death under the rug. She kept asking for the gunshot residue. She kept arguing. So they took a gun.
Okay, let me get into this because I want to react to this as well, because shout out to Neek at Night because she went into this.
People who live in the area. Now, speaking of Russie, let's go to this statement that he made after he retained Bart, okay? And after he went after a woman by the name of Kimbra Lee based on what she was saying. So there was a woman on social media, and let me actually take this down right now. There was a woman on social media named Kimbra Lee who had been making tons of videos stating that she was getting down to the bottom of things as it pertained to the Nolan Wells investigation. She made videos saying that Bart was a suspect. She made videos saying that she was, investigating it. She had pulled up their information and everything like that. Well, they went out and said that they were going to sue her. And she basically clapped back and said, lawsuit? Like, I ain't got no money. Okay, she said.
Once Bart was headline news in the media because of the audio, he lawyered up and started threatening a host of content creators, talking about defamation. We're going to take all your money and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what part of the game is that?
She ain't got no money. She ain't got it. She said, I ain't got it. Okay?
Like, I understand if somebody is flagrantly putting out fake news the same way Tasha K did Cardi B, then you're all in your right to actually to sue folks. But if you are part of the speculation cycle, audio or potential information's coming out and folks are like, what is this? And they're speculating and they're putting things together, but just mere conjecture, to try to come and try to sue people over that because you're in the media and you're a headline and you're a story because we're hearing, damn it, Bart. That's a little crazy. But let's hear what she's being sued for and what she's been saying about him that's leading her to being sued.
Ain't got it. But let me show you some of the posts that she made on her page. She said, she's going on and on and on.
Let's see what she said, man. Let's get it. Come on, Neek.
Hold on. All right, we'll read these real quick. I just came across them. All right. I knew once the blog saw they were suing a white girl, trying to help it would spread like wildfire. First, you have to prove what I said is false. Secondly, I have nothing to lose or be taken from me. Sue me. The courtroom display will be filmed for my album rollout. And if you win, I claim bankruptcy and move to Europe for 7 years with my new huge fan base, and then return and run for president. All right?
Brother,
What?
So this is her saying that, she is going to soak up all of the new press. But before she started to be happy about this new press that she got, she was going down the rabbit hole of things that she felt was leading her to the culprit of Bart and other people involved.
It seems like folks like this muddy the waters. They muddy the waters. It's like if folks like let me listen more.
I'm gonna show you a couple videos that she had posted where she was saying that he was going down. She was saying that
if you're putting out baseless fuckery while accusing Bart and you're making hundreds of videos of just bullshit, things that you can't substantiate at all, just massive speculation, you're muddying the waters. You're making it easier for him to just be like, yeah, I wasn't involved in this. These people are tripping. Look at all these dumbass clout chasers trying to run up these views on my story. Like, it looks bad. And her plan, that whole bankruptcy and flee, like, that doesn't work for a lot of folks. Like, you might think it's going that way. They revoke that passport. The IRS is like,
it's my turn.
Like, you're not getting away with it. Like, they're coming for your pockets. Like, you could, that bankruptcy, that's not gonna work.
he was a suspect.
I'm saying the IRS. This not the IRS. But y'all know what I'm talking about. The folks, they're getting their damn money back.
Etc.
Do you see the strategy of what we were doing to build the case? Okay, you start with the shit you know you can prove. Baby, we had him on manslaughter and accessory, period. Okay? We trying to get him to come forward. They not are. You gave us more time, all right? By last night, before we really had the fully enhanced vocal, we had him on M2. We had him on second-degree murder. Easy. After all that, after we Bart, we fucking, that was.
These claims are outrageous. No, we think something may have happened. We could suggest there may be some foul play. We know that the story that Warren gave is heavily contradicted by the audio. All this other shit, we got him on M2, we got him on Murder 1. It's like, bro, what? What the fuck are we talking about, ma'am? This is nasty work.
Too easy. But then after the CTO came out, baby, the immediate go for the cover-up, not even, bro, y'all got M1 now. Y'all fucking got fucking M1 now.
Nah,
now
this is what I'm talking about. This is what you're making leaps. You're speculating and then you're jumping to a conclusion that is a massive leap. It looks really weird. It looks funny in the light. The CTO call, all that. But we got Murder 1 now. It's like, bro, what are we doing out here?
Prove it with that audio. Okay? And it looks like Bart is fucking suspect number 1, baby. All because y'all kept saying buddy, buddy, buddy. See, I'm trained to know what to look for.
Shout out to A Lady 747 with the chat pass membership. Now, this is the second person that got a chat pass membership that I already thought was a member. I thought A Lady 747 and Jay the Informant were already members. What the hell is going on out here?
All right. So that was shared only so that you know some of the things that they reference in their cease and desist to her. She was claiming that Bart was a suspect. She claimed that he was going to be charged with M1. She made a lot of allegations about Bart, and she feels as though he was going to go down for this. I'm going to show a couple more of her videos that she would go on rampages about who she felt was responsible. Now, a person that she put a lot of focus on was Bart. And in these videos, she would pull up the parents' occupation. She pulled up the fact that Bart has a father that is a doctor. In the fact that he had bad reviews on, I think, Google. She read different Google reviews where people made complaints about Bart's doctor of a father. And ironically, Bart, his father is a doctor. And the same place that he works is the same place that Nolan Wells' mom worked.
Yep.
Like, they work for the same company, which is crazy. But let's go through some of the videos that she made.
What I might think or what you might think and what we can prove are two different things. Okay? I might think that they did murder him. Can I prove that today based on the evidence we have? No, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't prove it because I might think it or want to think it or want to believe it. I can't prove that today based on the current evidence. I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me because I'm telling you what we can and cannot prove.
Ma'am, in the last video, you said we got him on Murder 2. And then you said, blah, blah, blah. No, we actually got him on an M1. Murder 1. So I'm confused. You're making bold statements as if they're definitive, and then you're saying this as if it's ambiguous. We wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. How could I prove it? I think it, blah, blah, blah. It's like, ma'am, don't make statements that are definitive then.
Expelled from bedroom law school. What I might think or what you might think, and you want it to be, I want to hear all the bullshit. Well, if they were black, they would have been charged. You know what? You're probably right. 'Cause the angel, the DA. So let's look at Fulton. Fulton said that wasn't me. All right. I have to go try to prove it's Fulton. I can't do that. Whatever. Now let's look at Bart. I heard Bart's name on a fucking thing. I didn't know if he was talking about Bart Simpson. How the fuck I knew he was talking with Bart? What's going on? Okay? I can't prove that. But if Bart's name's on the motherfucking Coast Guard report, you can't get out of that, boo-boo. That's evidence there. Okay? That's good enough as having a picture of him on a fucking boat, bitch. All right? So, unlike Fulton, who really just has a picture versus a word, we have an official Coast Guard report with Bart's name in the report as a person involved. So, explain your way out of that, baby. You got to do that in court. So let's look at Fulton. Fulton said that wasn't me. I just got to tell you, I'm really upset with y'all. I'm upset with... Now, let me see what DJ Vlad is. Let me tell you little motherfuckers, you little tall. Let me put my glasses on. Well, we've got enough. I love how we were like, okay, Mississippi, y'all not going to do y'all's chops? We'll do it for you. Well, social media... Get together. We'll do it for you. Relax. Just have a seat over there. Go eat some fucking donuts, Mississippi. We got it. We're going to solve this thing before y'all even fucking get out of bed today. I love how we were like, oh. Now, who is this? An alleged statement from a witness? Oh, all right. If my boat's sinking and my friend is dying, who am I going to call? Who am I supposed to call first? Because if I can't drive the boat to shore, we're going to all sink and die. Okay? So... if my friend's injured and my boat is really taking on water and I have to call CETO or whatever to try to get us the fuck out of there, and then in the midst of the CETO call, my friend dies, okay? And now I got another friend that's like, can pull us out to get us to where we're going, all right? That seems like it's what's happening. You have to prove the boat was not sinking at all and they made up that story just to make it up. But we wouldn't have had the audio of Nolan dying in the fucking background if it was a fake sinking call. Why would they have called to record that? I really think they might have been sinking and Nolan was injured and they couldn't have no way to get out of there. And so they were trying to get the fuck out of there. And all right. If my boat's... Before I see anybody's interviews, just the most logical thing is that one of their brothers hit him. I gotta go find it for me, but I do remember that one of them little stupid kids, I think it was it Warren? I don't know, one of them was gone, and then we had to pull the other one on the boat to get him out of there quick. I think that's Nolan. I think the one they were... I don't know why the grandpa had to go get his ass involved, so I'm thinking, behave. So now let's look at Wyatt's culpability. First, you were on the phone with CETO, who asked if that Mark were mine.
She's just skipping through these motherfuckers like...
Nigga, you gotta go. The fuck is wrong with you?
You could tell she was a fake doctor. Now, you see, the problem that we're going... Let me tell you, all we know is that no matter what happens criminally, the Wells family has several cases with all these rich kids with their $1 million homes on the water. Okay, so now we about to get that anesthesiology money, baby. Oh, look, another pain management doctor, just like Warren's dad. Can I get some anesthesiology money, baby? Can I get a $2 million home on the water, baby? Can I get your son's name on a Coast Guard report?
What the hell was that?
Now I'm just waiting for her to sing these lyrics now. Like, what the hell is going on, ma'am?
Baby, can I get a big owl? Can I get your son lying, saying he was in Wyoming? Can I get a big owl? Can I get your son's name on the vocal recording from CETO? Can I get a big owl Sharpton? Ma, how long we been sinking? Woo, we about to get that. And obviously, we need y'all to run us.
Shout out to Black Hokage X with the $10 super chat. You said watching this loud, chubby-faced goof is a waste of time. She clearly a clout chaser and needs to shut the fuck up for real. This shit is not a game. I hope Nolan Wells and his fam get real justice. Yeah, that's facts. That is absolutely facts. She's having the time of her life with this. She's playing it like she's a joke because she's not the offended party. She is not part of the community that is very pissed off at the systemic racism and the cover up. So she's having a blast with this. She's making all these videos, she's running up the views, getting all this clout related to this, and she's making a mockery of the whole thing.
Arts GPS ASAP. Subpoena that right now. Doof. And we already knew y'all had 3 boats. The problem is we didn't know who the boat owners were, and now we know who they are. Now we know, because you know why? Loose lips sink ships. Y'all I know y'all don't think y'all can learn. Y'all never heard me say y'all never heard me say I ain't even doing the most yet, huh? Well. What do we have here? Do we have here some Google reviews from 10 months ago? Now, what did Michelle Fuller say? She said the first time I met him meaning Dr. Edmondson, Bart's dad, he really didn't ask much about me. More just like talked about how awesome he was at Dartmouth.
All right. So you guys get the idea, right? So those were just to show you, not for the truth of the matter asserted, okay? I done been to enough court cases. That wasn't shown for the truth of the matter asserted. That was shown just simply because that is what is referenced in this cease and desist. So after she made those videos that I shown you for the purpose of reference to what is in the cease and desist and not for the truth of the matter asserted or to slander the Edmondson's family or to say that I believe the things that she's saying, that is up to the listener and the effects that it have on them. They sent her a cease and desist, right? So the lawyer Russ sent her a cease and desist, and he referenced quite a few of the things that I just showed you. Mm-hmm. So let me pull up this. The
thing about Bart's lawyer is she's getting all the attention for the cease and desist. It's not just her. He's targeting a bunch of content creators to try to basically say you're defaming my client. You're slandering my client. We got to shut this down right now. And I'm like, if it actually leads to a lawsuit of a defamation and people are making these claims, to actually disprove these claims will actually coincide with the Nolan Wells case. So we would get some information in relation to that. But the other claims that she's making, the murder one, the murder two, it's just a whole bunch of mess. A whole bunch of confusion and a whole bunch of mess.
All right, so here is the cease and desist that he sent out, and we're going to read through it.
They demand an apology and correction. Damn. And preservation of evidence. Damn.
All right, so once we read through it, then I'll show you what she said in response to being sued or the threat of being sued, okay? So, hold on. Let me make this a little bit bigger so that I can see, child, because y'all know with these lights blasting in my eye, honey, it'd be hard for me to see. All right.
Yeah, but they don't know that. See, Neek, shout out to Neek at night. When you're on live, you're getting pummeled with lights. Like, I have lights in my face that are blinding. It makes it much more difficult to read the things on the screen or even locate everything on the screen because we're getting blasted by these lights. But we need these lights so we can appear on camera. Just part of the game. You can't catch all the dark spots in your... Actually, I think I'm getting dark spots still. I still think I got to turn on my lights a little bit more. Nonetheless, let's get it.
So it says lawsuit. Law Office of Russell Latino the Third. Cease and desist, demand for apology and correction and preservation of evidence notice. It says, Dear Miss Lee, I have been retained to represent Bart Edmondson Jr., a Mississippi resident, in response to numerous false and defamatory statements.
I think the worst part here is the part at the last paragraph where it says, you repeated doxing efforts that included publishing his address, pictures of his homes, and land plats of his property to expose my client and his family to considerable safety risks. Now this part is horrible. This part will actually have her removing her content and having her demonetized off of platforms if she monetized a YouTube, because she's on TikTok. But she can lose her accounts for her behavior like this. This completely goes against the guidelines on YouTube. If she was doing this bullshit on YouTube, she'd get her channel sniped instantly. You can't be doxing, putting out addresses and all this sensitive information on YouTube. YouTube do not play that shit. YouTube does not play that shit.
You have published on social media channels under your control, including but not limited to Facebook and Instagram channels operating under the name Kimberly. We have also determined 2 potential aliases, including Susan Speezer and Lauren David. This correspondence serves as a formal demand that you immediately cease your unlawful conduct, preserve all evidence relating to your publication, retract and correct your false statements, and take immediate steps to mitigate the substantial damages your actions have caused and will continue to cause. Please read this letter carefully. If you are represented by counsel, please have him or her contact me at their earliest convenience. Nothing contained herein constitutes a complete statement of Mr. Edmiston factual or legal positions. He expressly reserves all rights and remedies available under Mississippi law and any other applicable jurisdiction. We also have submitted or are in the process of submitting information to the FBI, U.S. Attorney's offices for the Southern District of Mississippi and the Eastern District of Louisiana, Attorney General's office in Mississippi and Louisiana, and local law enforcement in Jackson County, Mississippi, and Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, to determine if your conduct violates federal and or state criminal laws that prohibits cyber stalking and harassment. Your repeated doxing efforts that have included publishing his address, pictures of his home, and land plats of his property expose my client and his family to considerable safety risk. Indeed, as of yesterday, my client has received a credible death threat being, and I guess he meant investigated. He put being investigation by federal and state law enforcement.
Yo, this is a legal document with a typo? Bro, what are you doing? Who are the paralegals that reviewed this? What the hell is going on? What is going on?
Enforcement. I think he meant being investigated. All right. So then it says, factual background. Nolan Wells disappeared on or near Horn Island off the coast of Jackson County, Mississippi on July 4th, 2026.
Damn. Okay, so this is a lot of details, chat. There's a lot of details in here. She's gonna read through this entire cease and desist. And chat, if y'all want to go see that, go to Neek at Night and go subscribe to her channel and watch the rest of this video. We are pretty much going to wrap up the stream here, chat. I forgot, I'm a little pressed for time. I didn't realize it was this late, and I gotta go. Keep it a complete stack. We gotta wrap up this show. No, the glasses were completely performative. I actually have 20/20 vision. These are merely prop glasses. They help from the light. They kind of help your eyes a little bit from the screens and the lights on the screen, but it doesn't increase my vision in the slightest. All right, chat, we are wrapping this one up. Do not fall for the fake news, chat. Click into the videos and get the information from the videos, because folks be clickbaiting the fuck out of y'all as it pertains to this Nolan Wells stuff with these fake arrests, because the arrest wasn't in relation to Nolan Wells. It was in relation to the judge and the threats, if y'all are late to this upload. And the autopsy results have not been displayed to the public. They have been completed. The autopsy has been completed, but they're going to the district attorney. They're going to the yeah, even before the family gets it and the public. So yeah, there's a process before we get any information. So there's a lot of clickbaited headlines. That's the main idea of this stream, the main point of this stream, the focal point of this stream. But we're wrapping this up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure that you join the members if you want members only content and IRL live streams that are coming up in several hours. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to A-Lady747 for the super chat. Shout out to Black Hokage X. Shout out to A-Lady747 for the chat membership. Shout out to the chat pass membership. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. And once again, shout out to Akul Obsidian Plays for the super chat. We out. Yeah.